What's up, Metal Summoners? It is so great to see you guys. We appreciate you guys each and every week rocking out with us, hanging out with us, having a drink, having a bite, taking a bite out of somebody. We just love you guys, and we appreciate all the awesome support that you've given this show in 3+ years, coming up on 200 episodes. Angel and I were discussing that recently, so that is a very, very cool thing to look forward to. But we will get into that closer to 200 episodes, because it's not about the 200 episodes. It is about tonight, and we are very, very excited to get into that. Before we do that, Angel and I just have a couple of little cool things that we want to let you guys know about, things that we're involved in or things that we've done. So first and foremost with myself, I really want to take a second to thank Dennis and Dan from MCW. If you guys were following the Metal Summit page or the Instagram or my personal pages, you saw that the Metal Summit was represented at MCW, Maryland Championship Wrestling's Fan Jam over last weekend. It was a 3-part weekend kind of extravaganza thing where it had the Shane Shamrock Memorial Cup on Saturday night, which is kind of like a tribute show to a fallen wrestler for the company. That's kind of sort of become their WrestleMania, followed by Sunday early morning that had like a giant fan experience, kind of like a giant expo, a giant meet and greet with vendors, dunk tanks, stuff for kids, vendors, all kinds of great stuff, and a lot of wrestlers hanging out as well. The Hardy Boys were there, the Blue Meanie was there, the Headbangers were there, and there was even an appearance by our beloved Brad Lee, who many of you, of course, know and love. Randy Klein, of course, was there also from the Out of the Cellar band, and there was just a lot of great new faces, Metal Summoners, all that great stuff that we really enjoyed hanging out. And then it closed out Sunday night with the Legacy live event, and that was a really, really great time as well. So we had the Metal Summit booth with our T-shirts, our pics, our pictures. Myself and my girlfriend Megan were holding it down, and we really appreciate all the fans that supported, all the new fans and new friends that we made. And again, thank you so much to Dennis and Dan for being so hospitable and allowing us to put up our booth and have a great time and have this great experience. So we definitely look forward to strengthening and continuing our relationship with MCW in future events. That was absolutely fantastic, and I appreciate you guys so much for that. Angel, we're going to kick it over to you because you've been involved in some pretty cool stuff involving the Landis Theater recently, and I think you should talk a bit about it.
Yes, Landis Theater, the Final Four of the Battle of the Bands, is happening this Saturday, July 29th. So it's 4 bands competing. Coincidentally, someone that used to be an alumni of the Metal Summit is competing. Nitro Nitro, she'll be there competing. So good luck to you. I'm going to be fair to everybody. So it's the Final Four. So it's happening this Saturday. Tickets are $10, which is not bad to see 4 bands battle it out. I'll be there charging $1 million for meet and greet. I'm going to do like Kiss does. Yeah, right. We know that's BS. I'll be meeting everybody for free. I'm not up there. And and there's an event. I got to mention this event. If not, someone's going to end up killing me. July 29th, I Love Horror Day is in Highland Park, New Jersey, which is off Exit 9, for those of you familiar with the Turnpike. So it's going to be an all-day event. There's going to be vendors, horror authors, artists, filmmakers, all that other fun stuff. Wish I could make that event, but I'll be down in Violent for the Battle of the Bands. So. But enough about us. It's all about Vic.
It's all about this guy. Angel, why don't you do the honors today? Let's introduce our guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, finally, after 1 million years, a lot of emails begging, please, Vic, we need you to come on the show. Vick LeCar, man, thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you for having me. It's literally my pleasure. I've been a show of your guys for a while, and I'm always clicking and trying to make funny jokes, but sometimes I guess you guys don't get the jokes. I have a warped sense of humor.
We like
We all do.
like we all do. Yeah. But it's nice to be here and nice to be with you guys. It's pretty cool.
For sure, man. Super duper stoked to have you, man. Absolutely. And a fun way to kick off the episode, I think that'd be actually kind of rad, is actually something that you brought up while we were just kind of chit-chatting off the air, is that you came over to the States from Chile.
That's correct. I was just a young boy. I was a young kid just there was some kind of military coup in that country, and where the government got overthrown, and there were a lot of people have to live because of their beliefs, and that was part of it, you know. So, but I was a kid, so it was not a nice thing. It was I had to redo my whole mind, the whole way. But I tell you one thing though, the culture that I came from is very similar to the American culture. You know, it was just the language barrier at the time. As I said, it took me about 5 months to learn English, and I'm a stiff to learn things. I have to know things perfectly. I mean, I think I still have an accent. I don't hear it because it's me speaking, but I know I have an accent still. And then I lived. New Jersey was my home for a long, long time. You know, I still feel like home when I go to Jersey. My family's still there. I moved here from Hoboken, New Jersey. I'm living in New Orleans right now. You know, vampire town. This is a lot of
Yes.
vampires. Yeah,
Ah,
but
I would feel very at home.
yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I'm like, I love horror movies. You know, it's one of my things. And I'll tell you a quick story. I was at a wedding. My mother was there. And my mother loves to joke around and things. And I was wearing a tuxedo. And, you know, she looked at me. She goes like, "You look like Dracula." I'm like, "Well," I go, that's a compliment. I always wanted to play Dracula in a movie of some sort, you know. But so yeah, man, vampire movies. I love those things, and they have filmed a few of them here in New Orleans, and I've just couldn't. I didn't succeed in getting into them, but you know, have Nicolas Cage and people like that. They have a pretty good name.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, all of the metal summoners, Angel, Steve, and Bobby are all probably all now in their brains, rolling their eyes. Anybody who's watched the show because they're like, oh, great, he brought up horror movies, which means he just triggered the fuck out of Jay. So like, but no, it's all good. But speaking of like Nicolas Cage and vampires and stuff like that, have you seen that Renfield movie? Because
I
I saw it in the theaters, but I just watched it again like 2 days ago.
I haven't. I haven't gone to a movie theaters for a while. I've just been real busy with what I'm doing, and I am I'm real lazy, but I'm a workaholic. If that makes sense. Like when
Absolutely.
comes to work with my things, like my music, I'm just like head first and all this stuff. And I've been writing for my next album at this point, and I get up writing, I go to sleep writing, you know. And in the last few months, it has been a bit busy with a lot of things. You know, I had to rebuild my whole band, which is a power trio. It's not like an orchestra that I have to pick up a whole bunch of people. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, I will see it eventually. You know, what
Yeah.
I do with movies, I like marathons. Like I get them Netflix or whatever it be, and then just click there and watch one after the other one. So then I'm done with all of them at once. You know, one day. But
Totally.
that definitely has been on my calendar just to check that movie out, man. And
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I thought it was great. It's got a lot of that I mean, it's just really well executed. It's a lot of fun. It's got a bit of that British humor, based around the Renfield character. If you ever saw kind of a vampire, kind of parody movie from back in the day with Leslie Nielsen called Dracula Dead and Loving It, um, that it has a little bit of that flavor to it, which is pretty fun. But there's also another vampire movie that Angel and I talked about with a guest a few months ago. We had a guest on named Jack Townsend, and he and his wife are part of vampire culture. And we were talking about a movie called The Invitation that I thought was an incredibly strong movie that I really, really liked until I felt they really kind of fudged the ending, which was kind of a bummer because I really liked the design of that of that movie. But
I
if
have
you,
to see it.
what's up?
I have to see it. I have. What's the name of it again?
It's called The Invitation.
The Invitation. Okay.
Yeah, very, very cool. So what I really dug about it was this new age spin on like classic Victorian style, like English vampire like culture.
Cool.
So it really did have that type of Bram Stoker Dracula interview with a vampire feel to it. Basically, the really, really speedy version of this is this girl who lives in New York who recently lost her mom, so she has no family that she's aware of. ends up doing kind of a DNA test, just kind of on a whim, and just kind of sending it out just to see. And it ends up getting a hit to a relative who lives in England who happens to be coming to the States for business. And they meet up for lunch. He talks her into being a guest at this English wedding that they're going, that he's a part of. And it turns out to be a vampire wedding. But it's just very, very cool. I thought the overall movie was very well written. I thought it was very well executed. I just thought the end of the movie was really weak, which is just kind of a bummer. But I'm also way into vampires, so I'm going to be really, really invested when it comes to that kind of stuff. So to the average person, they might have thought it was fantastic. But to me, I thought it was a little weak. But overall, I did like the way the movie was written.
Yeah, well, that's good. And actually, it's also the way I look at it is the vision. Just to see things like that visually is really cool to watch vampire stuff. You know what I mean? Actually, my mother-in-law, she was in Interview with a Vampire as an extra.
For real?
Yeah, next to Tom Cruise and all that. Yeah, and I was trying to get. They did the new Interview for a Vampire here in New Orleans, and I was trying to get into it, but no luck. The characters that were looking for, they didn't have the image that I had. Actually, I have a long story of like years ago. I got a call for some kind of TV series, and I blew it off because I was busy working. But anyway, I'm not pursuing a acting career, but if it comes around, it comes around. And it's literally right here. New Orleans is pretty small, So yeah. They're filming all over the place. Sometimes you're driving or walking and you see like all these trucks like blocking streets and so on, lights. It's pretty cool. But I was not successful on getting into that interview. I don't have the image they were looking for at the time, They were looking for more like if you see the new ones, the series, you get it, But I have acted as a biker, as like a whole bunch of things, I was what's the series with Elvis Presley's granddaughter?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was on that as well, as an extra only, But it was funny because all the actors are looking at me like, do I know this guy? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know who anybody is unless like a big actor, name actor. I don't follow much things. Music is my main thing. But yeah, man, that's cool that you're into vampires. I remember you guys. You're gonna kill me for this one. I remember you guys having a guy with a wife they have a band that's a vampire band, right? And I on the asked, I go like, do you really have to suck to join a vampire band? Kind of stupid, but
yeah, I think that was Jack's episode because he was on with his wife, the vampire Jack Townsend.
Yeah, probably. And I saw Bobby. Bobby was on it, but he was cracking up and pointing at whatever I have said. I figured that's what he was laughing at. I'm always joking about shit, man. I'm not, I don't take anything too serious. Life is way too short,
Oh, absolutely.
Especially on the internet.
Yeah.
100%. But let's steer it back to music, Vic. One of if not the reason that we got you with us this evening, man. I mean, let's talk about what you're doing in music. Let's talk about Gallus Rex. There's so much cool stuff to talk about.
Cool, man. Well, Gallus Rex, it's an EP that we did with Ruben Williams, the man that was singing on it. We sit down. We wrote up about 16 songs. We put 5 of them out. Ruben is a great singer, great lyricist, but he also manages bands. He manages Samantha Fish and Tab Benoit. So he's real busy doing that. So I don't know if he's going to be singing live with me at this point, maybe at one point or another. So I'm going once again on my own, like the Whitesnake song, right? And just going to be a power trio for now. And I just picked up a new bass player. His name is Colin. I can never pronounce his name, but his last name is Provenzal. And I'm breaking in a new drummer. His name is Gonzalo. And, it's working out pretty good. This guy's heavyweight, younger generation, but they're really heavyweight players, man. They can play anything. And I like my music to be like a language where you can turn around and tell somebody else in a different language. You know what I mean? I mean, in other words, like versatility is a thing that I always look for in players, but yet always keeping your signature, keeping your being yourself. You know.
Yeah.
For example, I love funk music, but I don't like funk where you go and do all the inversions, that do all the changes and play exactly how funk would be funk. I do my funk. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I do my blues, I do my rock, everything I do, and I don't mean it in a egocentric way. Everything I do it my way because that's how I feel. That's how it comes out. To me, I believe music is your inner soul speaking more than just technical numbers. And I never believed in music as numbers. I've been always told that that's what it was. Because my early beginnings, my early start music, I was a cello player as a little kid, 7 years old. You know, but this is a funny story. The teacher's this big red hair lady, older lady, and she's showing me. She's going like this, read over here, read over there. I'm like going, okay, all right. And what I'm doing, I'm looking at her finger and listening and making believe that I'm reading, and I'm just playing the. But anyway, that was my beginning. So yeah, that's musically with Gallus Rex. Now back to that. He's doing pretty well actually. It's playing. They're playing a lot overseas. It's got some internet uh, people looking at it. It didn't hit as big as I was expecting because I thought it was a really good EP. I thought the songs were really. I mean, it's still early to call it as a gunner. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's very well written because I wrote it and played on it and produced it. But it's it's not concentrating on anything that's for example, like like bands tell you like we'll do this like this band, like this other band. I have never done that. I'm influenced by everybody and their mothers, you know what I mean? That's a Jersey thing. um, but I don't go like looking for like, look, I'm gonna do this lick right here, like, oh, I'm gonna write this song like so and so. I'm gonna never did it. Just like I'm more like in a way of like this type of song. I'm gonna do this kind of song, like Frankenstein from Edgar Winter, right? I'm gonna
Yep.
do that type of song, but I'm not gonna do that song. I'm gonna do a song that's in that vein. If that's clear, if I'm explaining myself properly.
Yeah.
So reviews. I got a lot of good interviews all over the world. The world, literally. I was going to say globe, but the world, globe. And it was a lot of fun recording it. I had a great players, a drummer, um, Eric Bolivar, who was great, really good. Once again, Ruben is an outstanding singer, very Paul Rogers like, um, very soulful. He's from here. He's from La Rose, Louisiana. So he's got that, that accent that like blues singers have, and I thought it was really good work. But now here's some news that I'm up to. I just signed up with a management company out of Finland named Golden Entertainment Management, and we're talking about this that I will is that I'm working on a one single
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be released fairly soon. We don't have a date or anything. I do have all the songs. As I told you, I've been writing for my next album for a while. I have material. I almost have the gazoo, but I don't think that's actually cool. I have a lot of material. Let's put it that way. But I'm constantly regenerating and writing. And sometimes I go back to an older song and I rewrite it, or But
Yeah.
this is all new stuff. Is heavy because I like heavy, but I don't like. Uh, how can I explain it? I don't dig that gargoyle uh, singing, glass thing. I have
Yeah.
a good friend of mine. He sings in a band like that. And I always bust his balls, like freaking sound like you're gargling with freaking glass. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's cool. Because I don't do something doesn't mean that it's not cool. Actually, new metal, and you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to jump on the bandwagon, and I kind of like said no, just wasn't interested in being myself or not being myself,
Yeah,
basically. But
absolutely. I mean, when you're writing and staying active like you are and continuing to write, is there anything you need to be aware of or anything you keep in mind when it comes to yourself about how to challenge yourself, whether it be songwriting or playing or both?
I'm always challenging myself for every single thing that I do across the line. Uh, um, it's as one of the things that I have noticed with players that have been doing this for a while, as myself. I'm a veteran, is that they kind of get stuck to what doing that one thing, and then I go and I listen to some of them. No names to be called. I'm not gonna mention any, but then I go and listen, and it's the same thing that they did years ago, and the guitar sounds are so thin, and they're so like they're not up to date. I believe in holding your roots. If you lose your roots, you just firewood. You know what I mean? You're not a tree anymore. But I believe in holding my roots. I do challenge myself skill wise, like I'm always playing, even when I don't feel like. But I always feel like this. But I listen to sounds that are coming out today. For example, a really really good, and this might be a tip for some new players. Um, there is bands that have succeeded year after year, decades after decades, right, without even missing a beat. And one of them is Kiss, right? When I
Yep.
was a little kid, I was a Kiss fan. As well. Of course, I guess we all are at one point. And what they do is that they don't change themselves, but they go up with the time. You know, their sounds are always similar. The voice, of course, is the same, but they don't change. They don't go and once again like they don't go and do that funk like do the changes the way a funk band would do, or a disco band would do, like they did that song. I was want to love you, whatever. I forget the
I
name
was
of it.
made for loving you.
That's it. Yeah. So like that's Kiss is a perfect example of what to look at to go through the years if you're planning on doing this for your life, your whole life. And not that I go copying, but that's just a good observation to have, where you go and listen to them and look at and listen to the years and how they change, but they're still the same. Am I making sense?
Totally.
So in other words, don't change your roots. Keep on growing as the tree or whatever the fuck we are, humans. We just keep growing as that. That's basically, and that's what I try to do. Um, I walk 4 miles every day, just to keep myself, not just to look certain way, but to be healthy. And then musically, I've challenged myself all the time. I'm one of these guys that since I was a little kid, and it's a healthy competitive mind. It's not a I'm going to get you. I'm going to do this. It's a healthy competitive mind that I like to keep, and that is where I hear someone do something right, and I'm like, man, that's smoking. I have to go do it. You know what I mean? And I have to go and prove to myself that I can do that. Once again, music to me and playing guitar is a language where
Mhm.
I have to be able to transfer what I'm thinking to you and you understand it. I'm sure you guys here, everybody's like doing the top ons and all this stuff, and it's like it's pretty cool, but you grabbing like somebody else's material and adding it to your language, so it's not making any sense. You're not saying anything, you know. I think it's more like just kind of let it grow and like learning. So I do challenge myself. It's like when I was a kid and Van Halen came out, I was like, "What the hell is he doing, man?" It's like I'm like, and then people start talking to me, "Oh, he's doing this hammer." It's like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." So then I just follow up and do that, and then Aimbe came along and he's doing all the arpeggio Paganini stuff. I'm like, "Wow, that's awesome." Even though I'm classical trained on cello as a kid, I'm not classical trained on guitar. I'm all self-taught. I'm like a street player, and
For
I know
sure.
that makes sense with you if you're playing. Like for what I gather, what you're playing.
Oh yeah,
It's
absolutely,
complete.
man. For
I
sure.
saw somebody else come in there.
Hello.
That's
Ooh.
Michael Steve with the disco pillow. I guess he heard you about make the comment about I was made for loving you.
We- the pictures are real small on that.
Yeah,
So
I will tell you, Steve. It is comical how fast you appeared as soon as Vic said kiss.
Yep.
Because
It really kind of was. I was
Like I
like,
said,
wait, did nobody catch that like I did? What's up,
I
brother?
did.
it summons me. It's like saying
Yes.
Beetlejuice.
It's the pillow, dude.
Yeah.
Right. But it's the pillow. The pillow
Yeah.
is very disco.
You're a pillow biter. That's what that is.
Disco pillows. Yeah, it would be like mentioning paddles, and then all of a sudden there's Angel.
There you go.
Getting what? I missed that one.
I said it would be like
We need to
mentioning
Summit
paddles because
Oh,
Angel's a bit more risque and adventurous than some of us in certain areas of
I
the
am.
house.
That gives me an idea. That gives me an idea on what we can sell for Christmas for merch. And Vic, that's a good idea too. Vick LeCar paddles.
Metal sucker
actually,
paddles.
actually, I have thought about it. A friend of mine was going to make one for me, but it never amounted to anything. So, but because it's really hard.
There's a lot of freaks out there.
There's a lot of pedals out there, yeah. And I have tried all of them. And you know something? Check this out. That's to my Marshall. There's no pedals or anything. But
Nice.
when I play pedals, I play sound like that commercial. I don't drink beer, but when I do, when I use pedals, dude, I just found this. I'm not gonna say the brand because they might sue me, or maybe they send me a check. I don't know. But it says a 5150 is one that Eddie Van Halen made. Freaking awesome! Like it sounds like a real Marshall when you put it to most any clean amp, you know. So look into that. What's up, Steve?
How are you, brother?
I'm doing stuff.
Good, man.
Yeah,
How
dude.
see you?
I'm great, man. Hanging out with the dudes. I was asking about you earlier.
Yeah, here I am.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
And yes,
Absolutely.
Brian, my pillow.
Become your pillow. I got my pillows right here, but I have
I'm
my
the
flying
pillow
bee.
guy.
I have my flying bee on top of my pillows.
Nice.
Can you see it?
Ooh,
Hell yeah, dude, that's sick.
stuff.
Yeah. Well, I had to get a V because Vic, you know what I mean.
Yeah, seriously.
But I bet you guys got a lot of questions, man. I'd love to answer some of them.
Absolutely, dude. Well, we'll kick it over to Steve first and foremost, before we kick it over to Angel, because it was glorious having the Core 4 back together recently. But Steve, let's kick it over to you, man. Why don't you lay it to Vic for a minute, and then we'll kick it to Angel.
Okay. So the question is, I see you have a Les Paul in your hand. What year is the Les Paul? That's the first question.
Okay, this Les Paul is 1987. I was working in Jersey. I was working at a music store at the time, and I hooked up with the guy from Gibson, David Pastore, and he's long gone. And I told him that I wanted a standard white Les Paul with gold hardware, and he goes, "They're not making those things. They're too ugly." They're like, "No, they're not." I go, "I love that." So I sent for it. And I have had this guitar since then, since 1987. I have all the guitars, but this is the only one I play. Now, I'm actually glad that you asked. So I want to show you a little bit of this story of it. I don't know if you can see the neck is like all a little bit worn out, right?
Yeah.
So
And
you did.
she's talking without me asking her to. And then in the back, if you see, I have two signatures. And the two signatures are from Les Paul itself.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, in 1987, 1988 and 1998. So there's a diner in Route 3 in New Jersey. It's called the Tic Tac Diner, and I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Of course.
And I was there on I believe it was on a Tuesday. And I had played the gig, and I'm there with my drummer, Michael Randleman at the time, and one of the roadies, and who walks in? Les Paul and Seymour Duncan. I have Seymour Duncan and Les Paul. So I'm like, is that Les Paul? So the waitress goes, yeah, that's him. Go, well, you know something? Would you mind asking him if he can sign my Les Paul? So he goes like, she went and asked him, and she comes back. She goes, yeah, he'll sign it. He said, but after he finished his bear claw, he was having a bear claw. You know, I don't know the call bear claws in other states, but in Jersey, bear claws pastry. And then then we started talking. He signed the guitar, and then once again he signed it in 1998. I was at Fat Tuesday in New York City. You know, so and this has been with me since then. And she screamed, and I have done most every recording that you hear from me is with this guitar, and even live session. And I did a lot of studio work years ago, and it was with this one as well.
Well, speaking of Les Paul, so back in 1930 something, Les Paul recorded an album with Mary Ford and my grandmother. Okay, so fast forward 1995, Les Paul used to play the Iridium in New York City every Monday night with the Les Paul Trio. And I brought the album to have him sign. And of course, after the set, he did a meet and greet, and he didn't charge for it, which was really cool. And so I'm waiting, and I go and I bring the album, and he says, nice album, son. Where'd you get it? At a garage sale? I said, no, my grandmother gave it to me. And I said, my grandmother's on the album. He's like, your grandmother's Mary? I said, no, Ruthie Levitin. He's like, Ruthie Levitin's your grandmother? Beautiful blonde with big blue eyes. I said, that would be my grandmother. He's like, how is she? I'm like, she's living in Florida like most grandparents do. Jewish grandparents either live in Boca or Miami. He's like, very true. I'm like, you want to talk to her? He's like, sure. So at the time, I had a flip phone. And I said, hold on. Could I step out of line to call her? Called my grandmother, and I said, Granny, I'm on line to meet Les Paul. Would you like to say hi? She's like, sure. So I handed him the phone. He's like, hey, Ruthie. He rocked around the Iridium for about 20 minutes talking to my grandmother. And then
So cool.
he was really, really cool. And then he eventually signed to Psycho Steve and Ruthie, All My Love, Les Paul.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah. At one time,
Paul using kind of reminds me of what Randy Rhoads used, because he used an all white one with the kind of hardware you have on it. That's why I wanted to know what year it was, because I know one of your influences happens to be Randy, of course.
well, whoever's a guitar player has influenced me in one way or another. You know, even when you don't want to know about it, even like you go like, man, that shit that he does is so annoying, but still somehow it goes into your brain. You know, it's like
Right.
influence are like ink in water. You know, just drop them until you turn your own color. You know, I hope that
Right.
wasn't that. I hope that was not a racial joke. But anyway, you know what I mean. It's like influencers are like that. So yeah, Randy was great. But this is a standard. Randy used a custom,
Aha.
and I like the custom. I mean the standard better because the back is rounder. You know, the custom is. So I had a custom as well, white, of course. All my guitars are white because I promised myself that I would stick to my guns and do what I love doing. You know, it's like almost like a spiritual thing. Oh, not almost. It's pretty much a spiritual thing. You know.
Right.
Just not too long. I just got another Les Paul, and I got it was just a deal, guy, but it's a Sunburst. It's pretty cool. You know, like when I go to places that could be a little rowdy, I'll take that one instead of this one because in case something happened to it, it happened to the other one. To the one that's
Understood.
different
Speaking of
color.
influences, who is the guitarist that you saw that made you pick up the guitar?
It's kind of weird, but I'll try to make it short. I was very very little. I'm talking about 4 years old, and I walk around with a ukulele. I never played a note in it. Just walked around. I thought it looked cool, I guess. But I don't remember exactly how old I was, and I saw a movie called Woodstock, the Woodstock concert.
Okay.
And there's the band called 10 Years After, with a guitar player named Alvin Lee came
Yep.
came on, and I go like, this dude walks into with a watermelon on his arm, puts a watermelon up, and then start playing. To me, he said something like "water over a helicopter" because I didn't know English at the time, and I was still. And then all of a sudden he started ripping with this blues thing, like a thing. And I'm like, whoa, And that was the day that I said I want to do that when I grow up. The problem is that I never grew up. Anyway, but that was basically who kicked it off. But Zeppelin was the band that really, really like did me in type of thing. That was the. And then Deep Purple, Blackmore, genius playing. I mean, Jimmy Page. A lot of players talk about Jimmy Page, but Jimmy Page is one of the most influential guitar players, and he's a genius, like a player and creator. He produced, he created that. He didn't. I mean, everybody somehow copies or it's an extension of something else that you hear before on every aspect. But he was not a color by number player. He just went and did his thing. And everyone talks about how sloppy it was. You have no idea the kind of drugs these people were doing at the time, But I think he's great. Blackmore, a much more accurate player. He was a big influence. And here's one that you guys might not know of, and he influenced me big time, was Terry Kath. You guys know who he was?
I heard of him.
I've heard the name.
Yeah, you heard that. You heard that song, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
25 or 64. Go listen to that solo when you're done, and then you'll get it. That solo, just that one solo took me to the edge of like the screaming part of guitars. It's like it was just so cool and it spoke to me so strongly that I didn't want to know or hear anything else or listen to it. And then since I was in Chile, I got a lot of things behind the United States or England, And what was that? Grand Funk Railroad,
Mark Farmer, right?
Yeah, Mark Farner. He was great. All those old bands, of course, Black Sabbath. But
Right.
So my influence and other influence that I had was like you guys might are not gonna know it's or maybe you do. Paco de Lucia, so flamenco player, that's like Chinese, right? But all that kind of stuff, where you pick with your picking techniques and all that kind of stuff. Alden Miola as well. I used to listen to a lot when I was a kid. Another Les Paul player. You know what? That I really like him now, and I never got him was Jeff Beck. I never got him when I was a kid, but I was Joe and I used to go walk and exercise and stuff. And we were talking. I go, man, I never got Jeff Beck. He goes, oh man. He goes, you got to listen to Jeff Beck to get him. And then I went and I listened to it, and that's how I got into Jeff Beck. But it was just another one. Eddie Van Halen, of course. You gotta love it. Like you don't know what. So I thought, I thought he was like just like really, really like freaking ripping, right? I just thought he was like, and he's doing, and I'm like, how the fuck is he doing that kind of stuff? I thought it, so that's what I developed actually that. I developed more of a sweeping thing than what he did there. I thought he was. So I don't have the longest fingers, so I had to really stretch out for that. So it kind of developed even better than what I probably would have known if I'd known at the time that was finger tapping. Am I talking too much?
No, not at all, dude. We love story time. But I got to ask you this real quick because I just think it would be funny. Since we're talking about Van Halen and all of us collectively, love our Eddie Van Halen. I just feel like putting you on the spot because I think it's going to be fun. So you've got Running with the Devil, you've got Panama, and you've got Hot for Teacher, and one of them has to go. Which one goes?
You got Panama, Hot for Teacher,
and Running with the Devil.
One of them have to go.
One of them's got to go forever.
Panama.
Oh, nice. Me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Steve?
Yeah, 100%.
Panama? Yeah. Angel?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're in the same wave.
Yep, Panama.
Panama's out?
Yeah.
What was that?
Oh, no, I was asking Angel. I was like, yeah, he agrees. Panama's out. Damn.
Yeah.
I'll admit, I didn't really think it was going to be unanimous like that.
Yeah. Panama never had a chance in this group.
Pretty much. I mean, me personally, Hot for Teacher just is my favorite Van Halen song. I mean, in so many amazing songs, it is hard to like narrow it down to one, but for some reason, that song always spoke to me. Maybe it's even the fact that I was really young. It's the Hot for Teacher video, and I was still, learning about things.
Yeah.
So, very, very possible. But I've always loved Hot for Teacher. It's just always been my my favorite song. And no disrespect to Panama, I've also, not only is Running with the Devil, it's just such a bitchin' song, it's just that intro is amazing. And maybe it's the bass player in me, but it's just so fucking good.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with that. Had Lori. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Eddie, if you take every solo out of Van Halen's album songs, all the songs, right? What do you have?
No Van Halen.
No, you still have great songs.
No, for sure.
That's what Eddie, and a great style, and completely different than everybody else. And that's where Eddie, he shined in every way, shape, or form. So from stage presence to his incredible genius. It's not genius like that's genius, man. Because to come up with something like that, you gotta have it.
100%, man, for sure. Angel, let's kick it down to you for a couple of minutes. It looks like we got a couple of questions for Vic that have popped up from some of the fans. But also, how are you doing this evening, my guy?
I'm doing awesome. Very excited about the weekend. Very excited about having Vic and this guy right here.
Yeah.
So let's get to some really good fan questions. I like this question. I'm going to make it round table. What would be your dream acting role?
Something dirty came to mind, but I'm going to hell. I think it literally will be a Dracula movie, like a Dracula, some kind of vampire, yeah, or actually, something. I'm going to open up on this one, and we can speak about races and all that kind of stuff, right? There's no, but I wouldn't say anything inappropriate. All my siblings are very, very white, very pale. That the blue eyes, blonde hair, and I'm the only one that was born olive skin and a bit darker, but I still have the blue eyes. And I always played the Indian when we were little. I always wanted to play the Indian. I didn't want to play the cowboy because I thought the Indians looked much cooler, And the things fit me better. But you know what I would like to do? I would like to have some kind of movie where the main character, the good guy, is it looks like me more than John Wayne, or you know what I mean? Almost like a Zorro type of thing. I don't think I'll fit the physically what Zorro looks like, supposed to look like, but something like that, like a mysterious character where I'm pretty much mysterious at times, But yeah, somebody that leads that's not what we have all seen through our lives leading, even though I lead my band, but that's a character that I would like to. I would like to do something like either a Dracula or like maybe some kind of indigenous leading. Because there's a lot of history in the world that's hidden, and a lot of indigenous have made history, but in their groups of ethnicity, their ethnic groups, And I would like to do something like that. I would like to bring like things that have been hidden in a character, that they're good from other people, And I'm not talking about my peoples or the Chilean things and because I'm not even into nationalities. I just believe the world is round and we should all live accordingly to it, you know. But yeah, that would be cool. Some kind of a new character, you know. And I like I like the idea of being the bad guy because once you're good through your whole life, at one point you're pissed off and you want to be bad. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like you want to kick somebody's ass and all this stuff. Even though I'm not a violent person, but I had a very violent childhood and teenage years. But yeah, man, I think. But on top of the list, Dracula. I hope that answered the question.
Okay.
Yep, that's a good one.
So before we go to the next question, can we
To play John
cheers,
Kalan,
make a toast for you
do a
guys.
biopic on John Kalotner. I would have to steal.
Cheers, Vic.
Cheers.
Yes.
L'chaim. Salute.
Cheers, music, life.
Cheers. Yes.
Pepsi, you owe us money.
Yes, that's very, very true. But before Angel hits you with the next question, Vic, are you a red wine guy over white wine?
Absolutely.
And my pillow, too.
Me
Absolutely.
too.
Red wine and whiskey. I'm not much of a beer guy, but
We're kindred spirits then, dude, because whiskey and wine, dude, that's what I drink.
That's it, man. That's the shit.
Right
Awesome.
on, dude. Awesome. Right back to you, Angel.
What's your choice? Good whiskey or good beer?
Good whiskey.
Well, good whiskey. I don't drink beer. I do when I go to a club or a bar just to nurse it, not because I feel uncomfortable. Everybody's drinking, I'm not. So a little bit of peer pressure, but I'd rather. And then if I start drinking wine, I get real drunk. So I don't want to be really drunk in public, you know. But I don't get real drunk anyway. I just drink. I enjoy my drinks. Whiskey. I take whiskey over beer. Angela, you always take your time with the questions.
Of course. Which legend will you pick? The Beatles or Elvis?
Which time? Can you repeat that question, please?
The Beatles or Elvis?
Whew, that's a tough one. I would say I would say Elvis though, because he's like the real rock star. You know what I mean? Like I would say Elvis. Yeah, I love the songwriting on the Beatles, and Elvis never wrote one song, but his interpretation for every song he did, it was amazing. You know. So, Elvis.
Good question, Brian.
Let's go from Elvis Pelvis to what's your favorite cartoon?
Tasmanian Devil
Nice.
goes spinning or breaking shit up. It's pretty cool.
I was always a Popeye guy myself.
Yeah, well, there's so many. Wile E. Coyote was pretty cool too, you know.
Oh yeah.
But you know what's screwed up? That in real life, the coyote runs faster than a runner. I don't know if you knew that.
It was also an old movie, old short-lived cartoon show that I loved back in the day called The Groovy Ghoulies. I was a big fan of that show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you go back when I was ever seen Mighty Mouse, but now I'm showing my age. But anyway,
Mighty Mouse was great, dude. I used to grow up on Danger Mouse, dude. I loved that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Danger Mouse. Yeah. But,
Wow.
yeah.
Danger Mouse.
Yeah, dude, Danger Mouse, and then they used to splice in the little mini episodes of Banana Man, like mixed up in the middle there, dude.
I know.
Yeah, dude.
You're getting a lot of street cred from Jessup, by the way. Mentioned.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Banana Man's the best.
Because we're talking about cartoons.
Yes, especially Banana Man. Banana Man.
Oh, she's into anime?
No, Banana Man.
No, it's
Oh, Banana. How you?
She's like, Banana Man.
Banana Man. Angel, come save us.
Next question, Angel. Do we have any more questions?
Oh, we do.
Oh.
Angel. Hi. ¿Qué pasó?
I'm here.
I know, but Angel's not responding.
Yeah.
I think there's a small lag between Angel and us.
Oh,
Should I speak slower?
yeah. Let me get to this next question. Fucking.
Oh my God! Look at that. Thing.
Okay.
I hope it's a smart one. Not the other one's smart.
This is about the Mohawk.
He
which
is
I'm totally against. I'm not.
Brian is committed to that.
We get 40 votes and we raise
really
$500 for a charity. Gladly get.
Well, I'm listening.
Yes.
You know, I'll admit I can probably kind of speak a little bit on Angel's behalf that it would probably be it probably would be heavily considered. Like, we're all suckers for charity.
Oh. That was the question to me?
No, that one was sorry, Vic. That one was directed a little bit more at Angel. We've got our friend Brian, who's an amazing supporter on the show, has been committed for months to get Angel to cut his hair into a mohawk.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's a different. You know, you see what Brian got to get straight. He's got to learn world history, because if anything, Angela would be a Taino, right?
Yeah.
Not a Mohawk. Mohawks were in the United States. I'm kidding. The Caribbean Indians were Tainos. I like world history. So are you getting the Mohawk or not?
Well, I actually do have one. So
no,
Angel doesn't
not getting
really,
the Mohawk.
Yeah, Angel's not a Mohawk guy. I actually do actually happen to have one.
Yeah.
So the Mohawk is represented on this show.
There you go.
And so is the egg.
So is the beard. Look at Steve.
So is the French tickler. I'm just.
Yes.
So, what's the next question?
When it comes to songwriting, what's the method to your madness when it comes to songwriting? Is it what title first, the riff? And do you collaborate with anybody as far as songwriting?
It's never like set on stone how I'm going to write a song. Like sometimes I get a beat, a drum beat, and I write to that. Sometimes I get just a melody, and I write to that. It's inspirations just comes. It's like a wave, and it comes in different shapes and forms. So it's hard for me to tell. Like, you know, like I can look at something and all of a sudden sparks an idea for a song lyrically. Then the collaborate. Well, I collaborate with Jolene. I collaborate with Ruben Williams. So yeah, I don't mind collaborating, and it's actually a bit easier sometimes because you can feed off each other, and then you can finish the song. I like to finish the songs as soon as I start them. The one thing though, if you were asking because you're a songwriter, this is a real good tip. When I write something and I don't think, and if I don't remember it the next day, I don't even bother recording it or keep writing on it, because it's very egotistic of me to think that if I don't remember, somebody else will remember. So you have to, I have to think of writing for songs that people will remember, memorize in their head. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's just a little tip, a little actual question. But yeah, I can collaborate, and everything is different. All writing comes differently. Sometimes the chord structure comes in. What I do every morning, this is a routine I have. Every morning when I get up, I have at least two of my guitars right next to my bed. So I get up, I make my bed, and I just pick up a guitar and do anything, like any lick, anything, and sometimes something will come up, or will not, but something. So that's a thing a routine I do every single day. And so if something comes up and it's really cool, I go and I do it a few times, and then I do it on the other guitar as well. I don't even know why I do it. It's just like I got into a habit of doing it. But it's a pretty good way to remember something that you write. When you get up fresh. I don't think anybody gets up fresh, man. I get up like I don't want to get up most of the time. It's like getting up fresh. I've never heard of that. But anyway, go ahead, man. Next question, please.
What about song titles? How does that work? As relates to songwriting, do you ever come up with just like a cool song title and just want to write a song around it?
Yeah, it happens as well. Actually, the one song that I don't know if you guys listened to, "Never Stranded," with Jolene Turner singing on it. That came up just the title came out at first, and that's just it hit me, "Never Stranded," because everybody's talking like Stevie Ray Vaughan was talking about being stranded, right? Or stranded. Everybody's like, everybody always talking about like how bad they have it without knowing and having a clue on how good we really have it. You know what I mean? So "Never Stranded" is like the opposite of all those downers. It's more like an inspiration song. And if you listen to "Never Stranded," if you listen to the lyric, it's like a mini biography of myself because I was on my own since I was 14. So it tells you the whole story. But that came out, the title came out first, "Never Stranded," And I hope to redo it, record it, because I just want to do it heavier. I want to do it like really bluesier and heavier, which is the style that I'm playing.
Awesome. I'm gonna kick it right back up to Jay.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. So we were talking about collaboration stuff like that, and I have to ask you, how has it been? How did you get involved? And we'd love to hear you talk about working with Jolyn Turner.
Well, that's cool. I met Jolene like 1984, I think, or something like that, in a club actually. And then I never saw him again until like 1990 something. And then we have a friend, a mutual friend, Michael Lawler, in the city, and then in New York. And then I was talking to Michael, and I go, "Hey man, what's Jolene doing this nowadays?" He's like, "I have no idea." So like, time went by, and you guys know Bobby Rondinelli from Rainbow, the drummer
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to him outside the Beacon Theater. It was the Purples. I went to see him. I just met him over. I didn't meet him purposely. I just saw him and we started talking. I knew him from before. And then all of a sudden I'm talking to Bobby Rondinelli, and Jolene just walks right by. He goes, "Hey guys, what's up?" And I'm saying to myself, "Shit, man, guitar, drum, singer." I'm like, that might work. Of course, I don't have a name at the time, so people are like, I'm like just like kind of daydreaming, and I go, "Hey Bobby, this thing." So like, and then all of a sudden I started talking to Jolene. I go, "Hey Joe, man, I always wanted to redo this song called Devil Woman by Cliff Richards, right?"
Yeah.
And Joe goes, "Man," he goes, "Me too." And then he goes, "Man, we got to work together now." And then it's history. Then this kid from nowhere came in. I'm freaking writing songs in his living room and all this stuff. And then we record. It's pretty sweet. And then I wrote a lot for the Usual Suspect, another one of his albums. And then it was great. I mean, Joe is such like a blessing, and it was pretty cool. Have you guys heard his new album, the heavy one, really really heavy?
I've heard a couple of songs because when I heard about it, I was like super duper into the idea of Joe Lynch just doing this like heavy style, and I've heard a couple of songs that I definitely dig it, but I haven't heard the album in full yet.
Yeah, really freaking cool, man. And always that chance of wanting to work with him again. But I think that him choosing to go in a different direction and testing the waters, like and with such a freaking material, I think it's outstanding. You know, um, I listen to it. He look, he can sing the Bible. I mean, okay, the alphabet still sound like great. Joe can really sing. I have worked with a lot of singers. If you gotta listen to some of my stuff, there's some singers there that are welling. I had never worked with somebody that walks into a freaking singing booth and belts out one song and like what's next, you know? It's
Yeah.
like Joe is that good. When they tell you that he's good or he's a great singer, he is. There's no um, like fixing shit and like can you fix the pitch on this one? None of that. Pitch perfect. And the soul behind it and everything. Like he's just a great singer. I'm very blessed and proud of have worked with him. You know, so
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Is there anybody in particular who you would just really like to work with? You feel like whether it's a bucket list because of who the person is, or even if it's somebody who stylistically you think that you would really gel with. Do you have somebody who you would love to work with?
There's a few actually. David Coverdale has been my favorite singer since I was a very little kid, and I always wanted to work with him. I tried, send emails and stuff and all that kind of stuff. I just never got a call. But I think he's more into the tall, blonde guitar players, you know. But anyway, that was a joke. Yeah, David Coverdale from like Slip of the Tongue and before that, prior, I would love to do something like that. That's completely my bag. That's what I love. I love his voice. The songwriting in it is outstanding. David Coverdale is an example of this. Like when you have a band and you have like a lot of people like hiring the side musicians that play, side musicians, and then like, oh, he played with this, he played with that. But there's one thing about the real stars that they're always on top and they always come out with great shit, regardless to who they use, and that's David Coverdale. Because look, they had a lot of good singers, and the ones that stand, test of time. David Coverdale was one of them. Jolene and Glenn Hughes. I mean, I still love Ian Gillan. Ray Gillan, that's another guy. I still love Ian Gillan. Was like Made in Japan was one of my most influential albums. But then Burn and Stormbringer was even more influential because you have that manly, gutty, voice of David Coverdale, and then you have the high pitch of Glenn Hughes. Like, I thought it was a genius and classic albums to me. All these three albums have take great big influence in my playing and my writing and on everything. Made in Burn and Stormbringer, amazing albums to me.
Absolutely. What did if you've heard it? What did you think of White Snake's The Purple album that they put out a few years back, which was basically like, the current lineup of White Snake doing like an updated version of like David's Deep Purple songs?
So I'm gonna throw a wrench in the gears right now, right?
Uh-huh.
I heard it. Of course, I listen to everything that Coverdale releases. I think that would have been great if he went and got John's back and all in catalog with John's. There is something about Mix and Coverdale mix the formula that works beautifully. I'm not feeling it with the other players. They're outstanding players. They're great players. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Doug Aldrich is an outstanding player. So is the new guy, Orchestra. They're all outstanding. But there's even when he by, something about that mix of David Coverdale with John Sykes that really, really kind of like, I don't know, just pops out and it's strong. It's really strong and it's like when you hear like a blues thing and it's like just like that note just gets you. When Sideways with Coverdale, every one of those songs will hit you like that, you know. I don't know if it's but unfortunately they can't stand each other. But that's my opinion about the Purple album. That I think I like it because I like Coverdale, but it's not as strong as when he was with John Sykes.
For sure, absolutely. Do you, when it comes to like John Sykes in particular, what was it that you felt that he brought to that band? And did you feel that Whitesnake took any kind of a nosedive when they went to like Vanderburg?
I think so. I think they, in my eyes, my ears, they did. Even though Vandenberg is an outstanding player, another one that's a great player. But I think they did take a dive. Actually, with Sleep of the Tongue, even though as great as Steve Vai is, I just don't think he fit in. I think they were looking for more the flavor of the week. You know, that was a big thing. A lot of these record companies, and
Yeah,
you're going to get me started with this one.
that's
They
okay.
they like
Hey,
to put,
Angel and I love story time.
they like to put people together. They did not mix stylistically, you know, and just because they're bringing a lot of cash, a lot of money, numbers. And nowadays, I actually have had myself a hard time booking because of stylistically, I'm too hard for the blues, and I'm too soft for like heavy metal. You know what I mean? Which
Yeah.
I don't think I'm either. I don't think is right at all because I, in a very humble way, I can do both things. I can play heavy metal and I can play blues, but but my style is stylistically. I'm like Ed. I'm me. I'm me. I'm just a hard player. I play really hard, but I play with a blues feel. You know, and of course, if you play rock, you'll have to be a blues player at first, unless you play a prog or something like that. But a rock player, it's all we play is it's blues changes, blues scales, and if you have the feel, great. But anyway, yeah, I think they did, and I hate to recognize it because my love for Whitesnake with the Slide It In, it's the '87 album was like tremendous. That was one of those albums that really grabbed me. You know what I mean? And then even
Yep.
the early Whitesnake didn't grab me as much as the Slide It In. You know? So there's some formula. I don't know if it's in the stars or if it's on what, you know. But that's how I feel about it. Yeah. Call me crazy.
No, absolutely. No, man, all good for sure. I don't know if you had connected with our show this far back, but if you weren't already aware of it, we've had the late Tawny Katane on the show.
I didn't see it, man. Unfortunately.
Yeah. So Tawny, you know, bless her heart, was she was a dear friend of mine, and so I reached out to her, you know, when we were trying to, you know, when we were reaching out for guests and you know trying to build up the show and stuff like that, and she was great. She was like, "Hey, yeah, I'm totally down. It sounds like it's going to be a blast. Let's do it." And it was great, and we had a really good time. And you know, she's always been very, you know, professional and very nice about the way that she complimented David. But just since we're talking so much about David is the only reason I bring it up. But then also
Yeah.
kind of a fun question when it comes to Whitesnake. Did you like do you like the original version of Here I Go Again, or do you like the kind of the second version, the 1984 version that had John on guitar that was a little bit heavier?
I like that one better. Yeah.
The heavier
one
with
with-
John?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah. Yeah. I think, as I said, it's like sometimes combinations like Ian Gillan and Richie Blackmore doesn't get any better. It's like, so here goes another person that I would love to work with, and it has been somewhat like one of those dreams that people have. I don't consider playing and being successful in the music industry. I hate calling it industry. It's a dream. It's more of a goal for anybody, you know. But one of the things that singers that I would really like to work and be on stage with is Steven Tyler. I think he's like God given to a rock star, you know.
Yeah.
Even at any age he gets up there, he kicks ass, and he's rocking, really street. That's what I like about his street. He's not, you know what I mean? He's not trying to be operatic. He's not trying to. He just happy. He does his shit. I love it. You know.
Yeah.
Aerosmith has been one of my biggest influence. And since one long, you know.
Yeah. Do you feel that like blues style is a really heavy influence on you?
Well, yes, I would say that I always tell this to people. I think I said it before, but I just skimmed through it. If you're a rock guitar player, singer, bass player, whatever it might be, instrument you play, and you don't play blues, so if you say that you're not a blues player, I mean, you're not a blues player, but if you can't play the blues, you're not playing rock and roll. You know what I mean? You're not playing rock. You're playing some other kind of music, or be it prog metal or whatever. But rock itself is very blues influence. All those guys from Page, Hendrix, of course. Hendrix was a big influence on myself. Cat, all stuff. That's all blues, man. You know. And once again, it's so hard. We in the metal world, hard rock metal world, we accept all players from we accept the Eric Gales and Johansson. You know, I forgot his name. All the blues player that play rock, we all let him in and we listen to him. You know, play gigs with bands. A hard rock band cannot play in the blues because it's too hard for them. You know, that's unfair. But yeah, I think blues have taken a big influence, especially here. I have learned so much here in New Orleans, man, playing with all kind of different ethnic groups, you know. I play here with a guy named Batiste, who's an outstanding drummer. He played with the Meter. I don't know if you guys know all those bands. And you learn a lot from everybody. I mean, you go to these open jams and you have all these guys playing blues. A lot of them are like me. They're they moved here from someplace else. A lot of them play by number, like a color by number. I call it that's why. That's like the cover band thing, you know. I hope do you guys play in cover bands at all?
I have myself, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I did when I was a kid, and I was miserable, man. I couldn't wait to get out of the band, you know. But I just like to create. I think my music, my guitar playing, and songwriting is for me to express myself, you know. I was in a cover band. I was I just wanted out so bad. I just consider a color by number, you know what I mean? It's everything's there. All you got to do is learn it, and you're expressing somebody else's feelings, you know.
For sure. For me, it's simple enough. Like, I love the stuff that I've been working on personally, solo wise, to get my creative juices flowing and express certain things. But I'll be honest, I don't hate the occasional just weekend warrior cover gig. I personally I enjoy it. Like, depending on the gig and kind of what we're playing and stuff like that, because it's just kind of like it's just fun, it's flirty, it's just kind of a good time. Like, I enjoy that kind of bar aspect. The last time I was on stage, it was funny. I went to support my buddy Will, who was with his band called Phantasm, which is literally just it's a party band. You know, they're booked for bar gigs and private events, and that's their shtick. They're a cover band. They play popular music, anything from the 80s, the 90s, all the way up to current, just kind of rock-based party band to keep the crowd dancing, keep everybody singing, because it's popular, well-known music. And I went to support him recently, and he was super stoked. He's like, "Hey, just so you know, dude, you're singing tonight." I'm like, I am. He's like, "Yeah, dude, you are." I'm like, "Okay, I guess I am." He's like, "Yeah, dude, well, over there is the set list, so go pick out the songs that you're going to sing." And I'm like, "Fuck, okay, I guess this is actually going to be a thing."
What did you sing?
I ended up choosing Panic at the Disco, I Write Sins, Not Tragedies. But then I also ended up doing I Want You to Want Me by Cheap Trick, because I can never turn down a Cheap Trick song.
Wow. Let me ask you something. Is that the Phantasm band? Is that the band from New Jersey? Phantasm?
No, this band is based out of Baltimore. It's Phantasm with an F. F-A-N. TASM.
Because that's another. It's a funny story as well. I get a call years ago. I get a call from a woman calls me saying she was managing this band called White Tiger, right?
Yeah.
And I'm go like White Tiger. I go like that. Why would they want a guitar player if the guitar player is the band leader? You know, I mean the guy he was St. James. I think it was with Kiss. He was, and then he had a band called White Tiger. And then they told me, oh no, this is a cover band. It was a whole different band, you know.
Oh.
But it was cool. I'm just like I'm flattered by the call, but you know, yeah, White Tiger. I don't know if you guys ever heard of White Tiger, but was a guitar player from Kiss. I think he died. I think I'm not sure.
Oh.
But so you know, yeah, that's cool, man. So I'm pretty excited to with this new management thing. I'm looking forward to a tour Europe, and they're fixing everything. What I like about these people, I just remember that I wanted to mention them.
Oh, absolutely.
What I like about them, man, is that they only do what I do. They do like classic rock. They're not interested in doing hip hop or any other kind of music, and they concentrate on whatever is like they call it vintage because. I don't think there's a language barrier, but there's a language difference. You know what means one thing for us. But yeah, so I'm pretty stoked to do this thing, and they're talking about recording this one pretty soon, and might be going to Europe to record the album. As I said, all the songs I have them picked and all that. Yeah, so it's pretty cool, and it's funny because I play here in this right, and there are people from all over the world that. And last night I was playing, and these people were there from England, and they came up and they talked to me after the gig and this and the thing. They're like, you know, flattering me, which is pretty cool. But it doesn't pay the bills. Anyway.
No, very true.
Kidding.
I definitely get where you're coming from for there, man. 100%. Angel, let's kick it back down to you, buddy.
No, just very interesting about. I mean, one of the things I'm fascinated is that a lot of the artists they actually go over to Europe 2-3 times a year to do multiple tours. Have you ever toured in Europe before?
I haven't yet. No. Would I have done more than touring? I mean, touring is a line of gigs, and they're all booked this, but I have done more than touring. It's like gigging. Like I get flown someplace, do a gig, and come back. You know, that kind of stuff. But no, that's one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to it. It is to tour. I love traveling. I love the world. I love different cultures. Now that you get any time to do much, whenever you're playing, you play the gig and you're out, you know. But no, I have not, unfortunately. But it's never too late.
Yeah, man. No, 100% for sure.
Yeah, just very interesting how rock music is different in certain parts of the world. Like in America, it seems to be whatever's in the top 10, but in the UK, rock and roll is a lifestyle to them. I mean, they live and breathe it, and they support the bands. That's why a lot of bands go over there multiple times for tours. So definitely super excited. I'm going to get a chance to go over there in Europe.
You are?
So my question is, when it comes to guitarists, who's your guitarist?
Who's my favorite guitarist? Whew. That's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
Right now, it has been a big comparison, and I'm flattering myself if you guys allow me to. I think one of the best guitar players that have come out in the last 30 years or so, Henry Moore. I would definitely. I would say that's if I have to listen to a guitar player like just to a playing, I would listen to Moore. Here's the other tip that could be for players that I try not to listen to much guitar players because they do the same thing as they all do. So I listen to different instruments. For example, Impe listen to Paganini, violin, see it, you can hear it, So there are a lot of nice instruments that get a lot of great music, especially guitars, that you can listen to for influence and to get stuff out of it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say which one is mine. You'll figure that out. Go ahead.
Um,
Yeah, I'm here.
as far as now, you're not sure yet when is the new record gonna come out. But do you plan to do EPs, albums in the near future?
I'm planning on releasing a single and then an album right after that. You know, with the album we're gonna go and record. So I'm not sure where the recording is going to take place. It could be here in New Orleans. That we had a great studio where I recorded Gallus Rex, or if I might be in Europe. You know, actually in Finland they have a studio that's all analog. I love recording analog. It's much warm, you know. And then I might want to do it there. That's all in the it's baby stage right now. You know, we just signed a deal, so we have to talk about all the what comes after it. But I'm definitely planning on recording more, releasing more. You know, actually, dude, check this out. Have you ever heard of the Bike Run? Since you're in Jersey, Bike Run was my band. You know, long time ago. I just found a professional recording on tape that I might be doing that. It's about 3 songs, but I probably singles. I don't want to mix it with Vick LeCar solo thing, you know. So I might release that. It's very interesting. It's more metal. I might be releasing that as well. Once you find a manager, you have to ask. You know, it's just proper to get things out to see what they want to do. A certain way of doing it. You don't want to go against it. You know, I'm never go completely. Of course, so I have to say what I have to say. What I have to be, but basically, yeah, albums are on the view, and so does singles for release. You know,
Just curious,
sounds like
what's
I'm
the music
mumbling
environment
sometimes.
like? Nah, we definitely hear you. What's the music
Say that again.
environment like down in? No, what's the music environment like down in New Orleans? Because we know you mentioned that there's a lot of blues, but just in general, what's the music scene like down there right now?
Well, the rock is kind of like not really happy, big down upon, but I go and play anyway, and people love it. You know, the music scene is more like New Orleans music. You know, horns and all that kind of stuff. It's really cool, man. It's really upbeat and stuff. A lot of blues, all different, you know. Um, I think it's great. I like it. I enjoy some of it and experience like my. I like to. I don't like to be alien. Change my according to, you know. I don't believe in that, but I studying myself for what I do, the kind of music, and I have done it here, and it sounds pretty cool, you know. Like when they're playing all these changes that have nothing to do with rock or heavy metal, you know. And I enjoy it. I like it, and the audience seems to enjoy it as well. So that's something that I might be looking after a while, you know, to do like that environment, that kind of music. I love horns. Actually, if you listen to Never Stranded, there's horns in there, and I always wanted to have a big band like 2 girls, but 2 girls, you know, bass, drums, guitar, vocal, keyboards, I mean, you know, all overdriven B3. I just love that kind of stuff. That's all my Deep Purple days, you know. That's where I come from. But so now it gets complicated because you have to hire a lot of people. So having a power trio would relieve a lot of that, you know. 3 guys deal with just 3 more guys and that. But yeah, the music here is great, man. I highly recommend taking a ride, and if you're ever down here, definitely look me up, and we'll go and jam on places. You know, you can do your vampire bass, and you know, you guys can play whatever you want. So That's cool. I didn't know you were so into vampires, but anyway.
Oh yeah, dude.
What have I said?
Yeah,
So, Angel, do you have any
people
questions
believe
for?
that Jay does sleep upside down.
Hey, it's for your brain. It's blood circulation, But anyway, there's a lot of jokes about bats and things like that. Do you have any question from anybody? There you go. Anybody have any more questions?
Um, let me see. Let me see. I'm actually curious. Being in Jersey and New Orleans, does that environment just influence you? Whether it's writing, how does that influence you? And even during COVID, um, how did that impact you? As far as being a musician and songwriter.
Um, Jersey, yes, everything, and you get influence I get influence everywhere and everywhere I go. I mean, um, I'm in Jersey when I was playing with Vicron. I played with a band called Foxy, glam metal band. If you go to my Facebook and all of a sudden you'll see pictures of me like with a puffed up blonde hair. But anyway, I was in that magazine, the East Coast Rocker, the Aquarian. Uh, there were other bands that I actually learned a lot from. There was a T.T. Quick. Um, Nilo was he's with Accept now, right now.
Yeah, Mark Tornillo.
Yeah, and that band T.T. Quick, and the drummer just passed away. Eric, and he was a great drummer, like great metal drummer. And like I wanted to work with him, I never got to. There was another band called Ayo. That's just still really cool as well. And we'll have like this kind of like uh, um, rivalry type of things, Not typically was they were much older, they were a bigger band. They were signed to Atlantic, I believe. But it was pretty cool because we'll play gigs together. You got to see these guys with the attitudes. Like I used to laugh my ass off. It was just like a lot of fun, but I still learn from them, without the attitude. But they were great. Now they're all cool. We talk on Facebook once in a while. But and actually I worked with one of the drummers, Dino Castano. Dino Castano is an outstanding drummer. He's got an album now with I forgot the name of the band. Kind of like an English, Inve Malastinish kind of playing prog. But if you look him up, Dino Castano is really good. He's I call him Mike Umba because he's Italian. Another Jersey guy from Jersey City. So yeah, I also influence I got from I don't think that I don't think you could be an artist without being influenced by the main thing of an artist is to be sensitive to what's around you and to everything. And being sensitive is being able to absorb and learn from things. Like you never finish learning and you never finish getting influence. Um, so yeah, in New Orleans as well. I add up to my set a one of the songs that made me in trouble to start was a whole lot of love. I add up to my set now, but I don't play it. I'm an original player, so I don't play it like Zeppelin. I play it like my way. So I'm using like blues chords. I'm slowing it down, and that's one of the biggest thing here in New Orleans is that people slow down the beat so you can groove better. So the groove is a lot more like a smoother groove. It's a cooler groove. You're writing, you just going like. So it's yeah, that's one of the things that I definitely get New Orleans is to get that more of groove music. Jersey's freaking metal to the max, metal to the metal. But that was Jersey. But yeah, answer your question, yeah, definitely.
Um, when it comes to, can you talk about what equipment you use as far as guitar, pedals, if you use those?
Um, I plug in straight to a Marshall JVM a combo, and that's just straight to it. I use a noise gate. I use a wah pedal, and I just crank it out live, and that's what gives me the overdrive. And it has the overdrive already, but it has too many channels. It's the same one that Joe Satriani uses. You can look it up, JVM. It's pretty cool. And when I go play places that I don't bring my amp, that they have their own amp, I bring that one pedal, the 5150, and a mini wah. It's like a mini me. It's a tiny little wah pedal. I had it around here, but it's pretty funny. It's like a midget pedal, you know. But anyway, that's what I use. Les Paul. I'm endorsed by DR Strings. You know, this out of Neptune.
Hold on one second. So I can hold on 1 second. Yep, there you go. So you can show what strings you use.
This you can gauge and everything on it. Custom. At least I asked for, you know. So DR Strings. I played my Gibson Les Paul. That's the Les Paul that I play the most. I mean, the guitar I play the most. But there you go. What happened to Steve? Sleep?
I don't know.
He doesn't stay up past 10. Yeah, he doesn't stay up past 10 o'clock. You know, that's his bedtime.
I was looking forward to questions from him. But,
Steve has become so delicate.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys something. Have you guys ever had Joe Lynn in your show?
Have we ever had who?
Jolene Turner?
No, we would love to.
Yeah, man, that would be pretty cool. He's a pretty intense. It's pretty cool, and he answers things. And I love the way he's saying things right now. He doesn't give a shit about anything.
Totally.
Know, which is cool, man. I'm the same way. That we get along great in that thing. But we sometimes like what's the saying? Two bulls in the China store. Like,
oh yeah,
we butt heads at times and all this stuff. But I love the guy, and the last time we saw each other, it was kind of embarrassing because like hugging and teary eye and shit. You know, come on, man, there's people. But yeah,
I'll have to reach out to him or reach out to his people and see if he bites, because we'd love to have him on.
I'll send him an email. He's living in Belarus right now.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I think it's a great idea, because I think you guys should listen to his metal album, especially the metal sound. You know,
totally.
It's like really, really cool. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to record this, releasing this new single. There's some very interesting people that might be working with me, and I will let you guys know first, because you're keeping me here for a while, and I appreciate that.
No, absolutely, brother. Please, that'd be absolutely fantastic, and we appreciate that so much from you. Absolutely. Metal Summoners, I do want to let you guys know, though, it is last call for alcohol. If you guys have any final questions, comments, or just anything that you either want Vic to answer or just things you want to say to him, now's the time to put them in. We will definitely get to them. We'll definitely get your questions answered, and we'll definitely read off your comments to Vic for anything that you want to say to him personally. We got you. But it is last call for alcohol. He's been more than courteous with his time, and Angel and I don't want to eat up too much of his evening. But it is last call for alcohol, fans, so go ahead and dial it up if there's anything final that you wanted to say, for sure. But one of the things, Vic, that we always want to make sure that we touch base off is where, you can be found. So while Angel and I go around the table to make sure that we're covering everything, why don't you start everything off with letting all the fans know, where can you be found? Where can you be found? Where can merch be found? And where can your music be found?
All right. I can be found on Spotify. I can find iCloud. Is it iCloud? There's so many platforms now. I'm confused. My website is vicklecar.com. I can be found on that as well. And if you do a Google search on my name, lots of it comes out. My email address is vicklecar.com. I'm sorry, vicklecar@yahoo. You can always ask questions there. You can ask questions on Facebook. Actually, if I get more metalheads and people like you guys, I'm going to start deleting people for Facebook. I have a whole bunch of non-active people. So, and You only allow 5,000. I have a fan page, but I never go to. It's like I was trying like the fan thing. It's like a little bit too egotistic, which is not, but it is fun. Fun of all the play. So Vick LeCar, Spotify, Vick LeCar, and YouTube as well. Official Vick. What YouTube is? Vick LeCar goes my YouTube. I'm sorry. As I said in the beginning, I'm kind of technical challenged, so I forget a lot of that thing. But anything, any questions, anything, any inquiring about music, everybody feels free to contact me at any time. I answer everyone that I can. Sometimes it could get a little bit, crowded, but I'm grateful about that. There's nothing worth to look at and not having nothing at all.
No, for sure, man. Absolutely, 100%. Are there places that fans? Do you have merch press? Like, can fans get T-shirts, or are there CDs available, Vic?
CDs are available. There's very few of them left. The way that they can get them, we had a Shopify, but it got closed down. But they can contact me on my website, vicklecar.com, and then I'll have somebody send them direct. You know what I mean? It's not a problem. We use PayPal for it, and then have it. Merch, I don't have any. Unfortunately, I don't have any. But we're in the midst of talking with management about T-shirts and all this stuff. I just I'm a sucker for really cool T-shirt. Actually, I have to get one I have to buy one from you. I think that's a pretty cool T-shirt, and I will wear it on the beach. That's a promise. I don't make promises.
I got you, Vic. Just message me, dude, and we'll get you taken care of.
Well, thanks, brother. I appreciate that. But we have a few left. Gallows Rex EPs, the
nice
copies. You know what I mean? We have a few of them. If you buy the Vick LeCar's Blue Moon, or this one. Well, I can't say you can find it online. I don't even know who's selling it because I don't have it left. But I think I should make some copies. What else? This everything on online. You can purchase everything online, right?
That's awesome, man. That's super duper killer for sure. Angel, let me kick it back to you, bud, before we wrap it up. Anything that's popped up from the fans, it's all you, or any questions from yourself, my guy?
Just an idea to throw out at you, Vic. Whenever you have the album out, have an online listening party on the Metal Summit where you can premiere maybe 2 or 3 of the songs, and we can just strictly talk about the album and any tour dates coming up.
That's awesome, man. That's a great idea.
So definitely, consider right.
We'll
just listen to 1 or 2 of the songs. Yeah, like I said, we're here to support you, bro.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that, man. And likewise. And I could show you some of the demos because they're freaking kicking, man. It's like the grooves on it and the heaviness of it. I'm getting goosebumps on my own shit. I'm digging it so much, man. But we'll definitely do that. We'll do that for sure.
Yeah, we'll make it a special.
We'll make it. Yes, definitely.
Sure.
We can make another one of these a little bit shorter, maybe, and see what everybody thinks of the new single.
Yeah, man. If you're down.
Say that again.
I was gonna say, yeah, dude. I mean, if you're down for it, we can maybe set up some kind of cool little giveaway to a fan or something like that.
Yeah, man. Oh, absolutely. All that's great, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys having me for this time this long. I really enjoyed talking to you guys, and we missed. Steve was in for a while. Bobby was not here. He's kind of funny, the Bobby guy.
Yeah, Bobby's hanging out with Ted Nugent.
Oh yeah,
tonight. That's Young Theater.
Oh, that's what's his name? The bass player. I met
Oh,
him.
Greg Smith.
Yeah, because he played with. I don't know if you guys know, like a lot of the guys that play with me in the Blue Moon. It was Paul Morris. He was with who was Rainbow, and Nina, the Red Balloon Girl song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was Paul Morris, and Paul Morris was in Rainbow with Greg. Greg was in Rainbow. I only met him once. My ex-manager asked him to play some. He was negotiating with him a while to be on the Blue Moon, actually. And on the Blue Moon, you know who the bass player is? This is pretty funny. The bass player is Danny Miranda. He plays with Midlove. He played with Queen, with Paul Rogers Queen.
Oh yeah.
How cool is that?
That's sick. No,
Yeah.
for sure. Because he John shoot, I'm drawing a blank on his name, and I'm a huge fucking Queen fan. But no, he's been with Queen, but he's been out of the touring band for a while. John Deacon, there we go. Deacon's been with Queen ever since. He's still very involved with the merch, with the band, with all that stuff. But he just has been out of the touring limelight for a little while. So because Queen's coming to Baltimore in like early October, and I'm planning to go.
Oh, cool, man. Cool. I like Paul Rogers with it too, though.
Yeah.
I wish he was doing it. That was one of my favorite singers as well. And that's like the Blue Moon. It was like an all-star band. Like the Gordon G. Gilbert. He was with Angel. He was with X3. All these guys, man. A lot of guys that have played with a lot of, but that's how it rolls in the whole world, you know.
Absolutely, 100% for sure. Angel, real quick, man, before we put a nice little bow on it, buddy, did anything pop up, or are we square?
We're square. Just want to thank you for your time, Vic. Really appreciate it, bro.
Well, I'll thank you guys. Rock and roll.
Absolutely.
And don't be strangers, man.
Never.
My pleasure.
Absolutely, man.
Never.
Thank you so much, man, for sure, dude. Metal Summoners, thank you guys so much. You know, just like Angel and I introduced the show the same way, we always like to close out the show the exact same way. We appreciate you guys so much. But also, before we cut you loose, Vic, Angel and I want to personally also thank you, man. And the biggest thing that's very important to myself and Angel is that you had a good time. You felt respected. You enjoyed your time on the show, and you felt that this was worth it.
Absolutely, man. It's like I feel like we're a group of people that are cool, and you know, like a band. We'll definitely one day, hopefully, you know. It's a lot of freaking noise.
Absolutely, 100%, Vic. Well, we can't thank you enough, man. You're always welcome. Like I said, reach out to myself, reach out to Angel anytime that you have anything to push, or anytime you want to jump on and say what's up.
You got it, man. Thanks a lot, man.
Absolutely.
We'll see you guys soon.
Sounds great, man.
Cheers.
For sure. Cheers, man. Metal Summoners, thank you guys so much. As always, Angel. Yes. Oh no, throw it down. Throw it down, Vic.
Oh shit. Fuck. See you soon, guys. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, brother. For sure.
What a great way to end the show.
Great way to end the show. Metal Summoners, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys so much. Angel and I can never be more appreciative than we are right now when it comes to you guys. Again, thank you so much to the Landis Theater for for the hospitality that they've been showing to Angel. And make sure that you guys pop out there this weekend to hang out with Angel, so he can, you know, sign some breasts and kiss some babies while he's judging the Final Four of the Battle of the Bands. And again, thank you so much to Dennis and Dan and MCW Pro Wrestling for having me and my girlfriend Megan out this weekend to represent the Metal Summit and hang out all during the MCW Fan Jam weekend. We really appreciate the opportunity. Can't wait to continue on and strengthen that relationship. Metal Summoners, thank you guys as always. We really appreciate you guys. We look forward to the next week. I know you guys look forward to the next week because there is a TMS alumnus kind of on the horizon. So we look forward to that, Metal Summoners. Thank you guys, as always, for supporting the show. Make sure that you're checking Angel Alamo on his Instagram at Angel Alamo78, as well as himself on Facebook. You can follow The Real Psycho Steve on Instagram, and you can also follow Psycho Steve on Facebook as well. Make sure you're checking Bobby Dreyer on BobbyDreyer.com, and you can find me at Just a RNR Junkie on Instagram. That's the easiest way to get in touch with me, but I can also be found on Facebook as well. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you guys. Have a fantastic weekend. Be good to each other, and just love on each other, and have yourselves an absolutely fantastic weekend. We'll see you guys in a week. Guest announcement over the weekend for next week's episode. So follow our social medias for those announcements. As always, we appreciate you guys. Take care. Have a great weekend. Love on each other. And horns up, fangs out. We look forward to seeing you guys in a week. On behalf of Angel Alamo and for myself, as always, you've been watching